A very good evening to you, South Africa, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Cars. We're here in Sandton at LMPF. I'm your host, Varishka Singh, otherwise known as Not a Car Spotter. In a few minutes, we'll be sitting down with my next guest, who goes by the name of TavzUnleaded. Hello, Tavanga.
Hi, V.
How are you doing?
I'm all good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you for asking. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be here around these awesome cars and you.
Ditto. You know how I feel about cars.
Hey.
So I have a few questions lined up for you.
All right, let's go.
You ready to go?
100%.
Let's do it. Where does your love for cars stem from?
You know, ever since I can actually remember, funny enough, I looked at some family pictures the other day when I was like 2-3 years old, and we're at a family party, and everyone else is busy playing in the background, and there's little Tavz just sitting in the passenger seat of a car, like trying to get to the driver's seat, you know. So I would say I was just born with it. It's just something that I've always had in my blood, and I'm just glad to be doing it now.
Definitely genetic, definitely.
100%.
Does the place that you come from have an influence on why you love cars?
Well, I grew up in Zim and I moved here at a very young age. So back in the day, Zim didn't really have a car scene as it is now. So I wouldn't necessarily say that, but 100% when I did move to South Africa and I was surrounded by all these amazing performance cars that really did cultivate and grow my love for cars.
Who are some of your icons and why?
Well, let me start off with the biggest icon, and that's Lewis Hamilton. I really love Lewis Hamilton, and the reason why is because of what he stands for. You know, he's in an industry and a sport where it's very difficult to excel in, and the number one thing he teaches people is to always persevere, always carry on, even in moments where you feel like giving up, especially after last season, but we're not going to get into that right now, you know. He's come back a bigger and better man, and I really like those values.
All right, cool. What other interests do you have besides cars?
Well, besides cars, I would say I really love aviation, watches, and sneakers. Those are the three things that really keep me going.
Sounds like high maintenance to me.
A little bit. Expensive habits, expensive.
So let's talk about TellsUnleaded. Now, personally, I'm a huge fan.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
And I know I was really excited when I knew that you and I were doing a collab for the GTI launch. That's when I first met you, and I was like, oh, I'm actually meeting this person.
That's how I felt as well, because I mean, when I started, it was really your page and Taj's page that I really looked for inspiration.
Yeah.
And I was glad to see that I was at a shoot with you and got to be in a nice environment around cars with you. I really enjoyed that.
And you actually have a really big following on TikTok as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it's grown to, I believe, 87,000 or something like that right now, yeah.
Wow, so back to TavzUnleaded.
Yes.
Why did you start TavzUnleaded?
Well, see, I grew up just loving cars, right? And I remember before I started my page, I would see like an M2, a GTI, Fiesta ST on the streets, and I'll take a picture and I'll save it for myself. And I found myself always going back to those pictures and those videos and looking at them when I needed motivation, right? When I wanted to study, when I wanted to just carry on with the business and I had no motivation, I'd look at those pictures and I'd be like, that's what I'm working for. And so I really figured I would rather just make this page, share my passion with cars, and also post these things so other kids and other people can gain motivation and inspiration from my content.
Kind of reminds me of myself, if I
Really?
have to say.
Really, we're the same. I mean, just look at us.
Where does the name originate from?
So funny story about that actually. I remember there was a day I went on a walk with a friend, right? And I told her, I was like, you know, I'm thinking of making this channel and I want to make car stuff. So she asked me a question, she's like, what car do you really like? And at the moment I was obsessed with Fiesta STs, right? So I was like, I want to make a Tavz ST. And then I remembered, but what if I grow out of that, right? So I thought I want to make a name that's universal, something that I can stick with no matter what car I get, no matter what car I review and make content with. So I remembered, well, what fuels all the cars? Unleaded petrol, right? And so I said TavzUnleaded because I want to fuel everybody's passion for cars, motivate people, and that type of thing. So that's where it originated from.
That's so cool.
Thank you.
All right. So what essentially is TellsUnleaded all about?
So TavzUnleaded is really about me sharing my experience with cars. You know, a lot of people don't have access to these type of cars I'm around. I'm very privileged and blessed enough to be around supercars, around sports cars, around even modified tuner cars that a lot of people don't even think we have in South Africa. So the purpose of the page is really to showcase these cars, showcase these beasts, show people that it is 100% possible for you to earn that car through hard work and for you to enjoy those things as well.
That's absolutely true.
100%.
Very true. So looking at your Instagram page, and we know you've spent a lot of time with amazing cars.
Yes.
From all the cars that you've reviewed and engaged with, which one would you pick to own and why?
Well, that's a very difficult question because I really love cars. I love any car. I believe if you give me any car, I'll have the best time with it. It really doesn't matter what car it is. But if we take aside, maintenance costs, fuel, stuff like that, I really have to go with the Aventador SVJ. That car is absolutely insane. 100% SVJ.
You and me both.
Really?
You and me both.
SVJ people, eh? Look at us.
Lambo in general as well.
Yes.
And my last question for this is, what advice would you give to someone who wants to get into this industry?
Don't give up. Don't give up. This is a very, very tough industry. I know a lot of people look at their phones, they see the content that we produce, and they think it's easy. They think it is, but ultimately, it's a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of motivation, a lot of just putting in the hours. And there's times where you're going to feel like giving up because things may not end up your way. But my advice to you is just keep pushing. Remember why you're doing it. Remember who you're in it for. Be it yourself, be it for other people. Just carry on pushing.
And most importantly, it's because you love cars.
100%.
That's what matters.
100%.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about modern and electric cars. What are your thoughts on electric cars?
Okay, well, upon first hearing about electric cars and seeing the ones that first came out, the likes of the Nissan Leaf and other cars like that, I wasn't too impressed, to be honest. I wasn't too happy that the world is going to a place where we're going to get rid of these amazing combustion engines and replace them with electric cars. However, along the years, we've been seeing a lot of amazing electric cars come into the works. The Tesla Model S Plaid, for example, the Rimac Nevera. We see a lot of these amazing cars, and upon seeing these, my view has changed a lot to electric cars. I really do feel like they are filling in some of the gaps that gas cars are missing, such as being good for the environment, and also that acceleration is brutal. So with that being said, there are certain electric cars I really do like. Yes.
All right, good to know. So if you had to choose between a Fiat 500 electric, a Kia EV6, or a Renault Megane E-Tech electric, which one would you pick and why?
Okay, well, amongst those options, if we're being 100% honest,
100% honest.
Those wouldn't be my first options for electric cars. I really feel as though those fall in that gray area, which I just explained, where they are missing something.
Yes.
If it were up to me for any electric car, I would definitely go with the Model S Plaid or any Tesla for that matter. However, amongst those options that you have given me, I think I'll go with the Renault. I'll go with the Renault. It's got a punchy little 160 kilowatts electric motor, and I think that'll be a little fun, zippy car.
Okay, I would have picked the Kia EV6 for you.
Why?
Judging.
Oh, I want to know why. I really want to know why.
I just thought that would have appealed to you more, but okay, and that's the thing, different strokes for different folks.
100%.
So I have a bit of a quiz lined up for you.
Oh, let's get it.
Are you ready?
Let's get it.
I think you'll do really, really well.
Let's get it.
All right, so what is the Ford Model T known as?
Okay, well, it's got 3 names, but my favorite one is Tin Lizzie. Oh my word, I really love the Ford Model T. That whole car, what it stands for is really amazing. It was made to make cars affordable for everybody. And so, yeah, it's a very special car.
And that is the correct answer, by the way.
Oh, really?
Really? Which country has the most electric vehicles?
That's a really good question. Just going off the bat, I would really think it would be one of the best first world countries in the world, With that being said, I would think between Sweden and Denmark. But even just looking at the 2 of those, Denmark is basically the country that went to private school in the world.
Yes,
so
yes.
I would definitely say Denmark.
Okay. The answer I have for that is Norway.
Norway. Okay. Interesting.
All right. Next question. What is the world's fastest commercial produced car?
The fastest commercial produced car. That one has a bit of a story to it. That's the SSE Tuatara.
Yes, that's correct. Wow.
Very interesting car, that one. That's a story for another day.
Next question.
Yes.
What was the Ford Mustang muscle car named after?
The Mustang. I just saw a YouTube video about this 2 weeks ago, so I'm going to use that knowledge and act like I know what I'm talking about, right? So I used to think the Mustang was named after a horse, right? As I'm sure everybody did. But interestingly enough, it's actually named after a World War II fighter plane.
That is correct.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Wow.
That makes every Mustang I see on the road 10 times cooler now.
Definitely. Next question.
Next question.
What company is the world's largest car manufacturer? And I should know this answer.
The largest, I mean, yeah, you drive one of them. It's definitely Toyota. I mean, I got a question for you, okay? Have you ever gone anywhere around the world, right, and gone for a drive and not seen a Toyota?
True story.
Exactly.
True. No lies can be spoken here.
There's 10 Toyotas every time.
What is the best-selling electric car in history?
Ooh, again with electric car questions. But just off the bat, I mean, I would really think it's a Tesla of some sort.
Yes.
And I would say it's probably the cheapest and most affordable one, the Model 3.
That's correct.
It's a really cool car. Really, really cool car.
All right. And the last question I have for you is, where did the word car originate from?
The car. You're asking some tough questions now, hey? But I don't know. I mean, every single word that we pretty much use comes from Latin, some Latin
That's
paraphrase.
correct.
So I would assume.
Wow.
Really, was it correct?
Yes.
Ooh.
Well done.
Thank you.
And we are done.
Oh, so soon.
Very soon,
Oh,
I know.
okay. Thank you so much for having me.
It's been a pleasure having you, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the questions. I had a blast.